Welcome back. Well, it's me, Ramen Llama. We're doing another tier list today. This is going to be the Scariest Frictional Games enemy tier list maker. Stop calling them maker. What is this stupid website doing? This video is going to be every enemy from the entire Frictional Games catalog ranked on their fear factor and creepiness. Please, go to the link in the description. Make your own. Make a video on it. Tell me what scares you the most out of the Frictional Games catalog. So again, we have, like the last time, we have all of the pictures of the enemies down below, and we have 5 criteria that they have to meet. So starting from the top, Curie moment. I'll discuss what a Curie moment is a bit later on. So that's the most scary. Pretty scary. This is one you don't want to run into in dark alley. You're like, nah, I'm okay. That's a bit spooky, that is. The one that you're creeped out by and you don't particularly like. But it doesn't like scare you so much that you have like nightmares or you don't want to play the area. Creepy but not scary is what it is. It's something that's kind of creepy but like not really scary. There you go. I'm fine with this one. Like it doesn't really scare you at all. You just want to get away from it so it doesn't kill you. So starting with Penumbra Overture. Now, angry zombie dog. They do make me, you know that fear where you're like, ah! Like a chicken, like pecking at your feet. You're like, he's like, oh shit, like it's coming towards me. Like I had a dream when I was like 14. It was one of those dreams that happens like the moment you fall asleep, and you know how you get the dream that like jolts you awake. You're like, I remember having 2 of those in my life. One of them was a chicken pecking at the ground and coming close to my foot, and he pecks my foot, and I went and woke up. I'm not scared of chickens. The other one that woke me up was a car crash. But I haven't had a dream like that, with the ones where you like, people say, oh, I was falling and then I hit the ground and I woke up. I haven't had a dream like that in years. These must have happened like 10 years ago for me. So that's what the Penumbra dog elicits from me, like, because it's a feral, primal animal that can kill you pretty quickly. I'll put him in, that's a bit spooky. I'll give him credit, because they can kill you pretty fucking quickly, and they group up. And if that was you in real life, facing a fucking angry dog jumping up at you, I'm alright. I'll put you in, that's a bit spooky. Like, he doesn't scare me too much, but just the primal nature of it. I'll put him there. Penumbra spider, I'm fine. Like, if I saw them in real life, I'd probably put them in, that's a bit spooky. But I'm gonna put them in creepy, not scary. So, they're a little bit creepy, and there's a bunch of them. Penumbra worm, I'm not really scared or intimidated by Penumbra worm at all. He looks like a big sock. I'm fine with this one. Yeah. Okay, Penumbra turngate. They're not really that scary, they sound kind of funny. I haven't made the video where I talk about, because back when Rebirth came out, I wanted Rebirth to give me just a piece of Penumbra lore, because I was convinced that Amnesia and Penumbra share the same universe, but Amnesia and Soma didn't. I have no grounds to say that, and it's already been confirmed not to be true. Well, only Amnesia and Soma have been confirmed to not have a connected universe. Technically, they haven't confirmed or denied Amnesia having a separate universe to Penumbra. The memory cylinders. What the fuck do you say about the memory cylinders? I'm sorry. I'm still like tinfoil hatting, because it's not like I even want it to be true, because it would add nothing to the games. And it changes nothing in either of their canon. But to me, it would kind of just be cool if they were like in the same universe. So my brain has just been constantly trying to find ways that they connect, but there's nothing. There's no connective tissue because they're not in the same universe. But South African enemies with umbilical cords, Rebirth, I don't know. Make of that what you will. It's just a small connection that means nothing. But I don't know. There's like a tiny link that just gets my brain going. But I mean, they're not South African. They just sound it. They're from the hive mind. The hive mind isn't South African. It's an ancient race of creatures from another world, overseen by some random woman. The hive mind's consciousness is like a collective. So it's not just a random woman, but it speaks through the vessel of a random woman. So again, kind of a similar Tin Hanani connection. I don't know. Don't roast me, it's just a game theory. But yeah, I'm not really too scared by these guys. I'll put him in creepy but not scary. Clarence, I'm fine with Clarence. He's fine. He's like these guys, just funny. Wilbur Frisk, that's a bit spooky, that is. I'm gonna put him in pretty scary. Because I don't know what this guy looks like, what he's gonna do to me when he drags me through that hole. Should I reword that? But yeah, he's a bit scary. I don't know what I'd do against that. With everything else, you can sort of run away and hide. With him, he's got your feet, he's pulling you in. Amnesia Grant, that's a bit spooky. Well, I'll put him in pretty scary. His chase music just gets my heart going. He's very aggressive. Water Monster, that's a bit spooky, that is. Just a little piranha thing, just crush him a couple times, you know? You could just jump on him. He'd probably bite your feet off, but you could deal with him. Brute used to be Curie moment for me a while ago, but then I started speedrunning Amnesia hard mode, and I put him in pretty scary, but I used to be terrified of the Brute. I used to just hate the choir. The choir was my Curie moment. Again, we'll get into that, but I'm since past that, and I'm fine with the choir now, and the Brute. He's still spooky, he's still scary, so I'll put him in scary. Anytime any of these Amnesia monsters are chasing me, my heart's pounding, even though I've played the game constantly for easily like 1,000 hours across like 3-4 different platforms. I'm okay with him being pretty scary. Guardian / Shadow, because again, the Shadow isn't the Guardian. The Guardian is the creature that commands the Shadow. The Shadow is just a physical manifestation created by the Guardian. We don't know what the Guardian looks like. It is the creature as a whole, the huge cosmic entity. It's pretty scary. I'll keep him as pretty scary. Like the flesh manifestation, that's not that scary. But the idea behind the Guardian and what it represents, are scary. Whoa, look at that. I haven't got my light on, so my green screen isn't on. Right, so suitors in general, pretty scary. Individually, Alois isn't that scary, he's creepy. Talking about him cutting himself, and it's not scary per se, but him himself is a bit creepy. Bazil, that's a bit spooky, just a very angry man. I will rip your head off. I will kill you, you c***. Okay, Bazil, that's a bit spooky, that is. Just a very angry person looking to murder you. That's kind of scary. If you were trapped in like the same building as this person. That is pretty scary. I'm gonna put him in pretty scary. Well, that's more the idea, not the actual enemy itself. Okay, you go back to that's a bit spooky. Mallow, that's a bit spooky, that is. He fucking eats you. He eats you! That's spooky. Pigmen. None of the pigmen are scary. Tesla pig is kind of spooky. That's a bit spooky, that is. Actually, no, I'm putting him in pretty scary. I'm not scared of the Tesla pig, but he gives me that same chicken feet vibe where he's behind me, he's very loud, he goes in and out of dimensions. It's just some giant fucked up pig thing. That's a bit scary. Because I can sit here and say, oh, I'm not that scared by him, but then when I play Machine for Pigs, I'm like, oh. When I go through the maze part, I'm like, oh, okay, shit. Go this way, go. You know, it bothers me a bit. So I'll put him in pretty scary. My throat has stopped working, it hurts so much to talk. Right, we have the Construct next from Soma. He's creepy, but he's not too scary. I remember when I first played Soma, this dude terrified me. Similar to how the Grunt did, the Brute did, but he doesn't really scare me that much anymore. He does make one noise that I really don't like though. I have Skyrim music playing. I don't like that noise. Yeah, I'll put him in creepy, but not scary, but he's creepy. Scavengers, they're not that scary. They sound aggressive, but they really don't do anything. We didn't really see this guy in action, the Crawler. Just some weird spider thing. I think there's videos of it somewhere. One sec. Damn it.
Oh. I need you to shut it down.
It was Amy.
Oh, what kind of messed up thing are you? Make it stop. Stop it. Make it stop.
I don't like that. I'm gonna put you creepy. I'm gonna put you in that's a bit spooky. The screaming brain scan of a very confused, going insane person is just trying to crawl its way towards you. That's a bit spooky. Yeah, Flesh is pretty scary. The sounds it makes, the way that it moves, its unpredictability. It's one of the reasons I don't like the Curie. Speaking of which, we get to the Curie moment. Now, what is a Curie moment? So, a Curie moment, he's not in the Curie moment anymore, but the whole, well, I guess I have to kind of put the Flesher in Curie moment because of what I named it. I named a whole feeling after this game. So the Curie moment, the MS Curie from Soma, the submarine that used to do trading runs between Lambda and Lisbon, the submarine that could turn itself upwards when it was docked. It was such a cool design. Do we have stuff like that? Probably at this point. Very cool area. But the Curie itself is probably... It used to be the part of Soma that I hated getting through. And I still kind of do. Like, replaying Soma a couple of times since I was younger, I'm still not majorly okay with Curie. It still gets me a lot more amped up than it probably does other people, because some people seem fine with it. For me personally, the limited movement and limited visibility, both visually and audially, you don't have as much control over the environment or the player. I don't like that. I like when I'm able to run at full speed and I can hear things fully and see things fully, but in the Curie you can't do that. And it really dulls the senses down. So a Curie moment for me, and getting past the flesher in that first encounter is, like, for me, that's one of the hardest encounters to do. I never know how I'm going to do it. With every other Frictional game, every single other Frictional game, I can tell you how I will get around enemies. In Soma, there are like 2 or 3 enemies where it's random, and I don't have full control over the game, and that's when it bothers me, and that's when I get scared by it. But Amnesia doesn't really scare me too much anymore. It's still, the game comes alive and bothers me when I'm running away from something, and I do my little scream when when something's chasing me. In Amnesia, I know where every encounter starts, when every encounter ends, how fast they run, how much damage they do, and I know how to get around them. So the Amnesia enemies, unmodified, don't really scare me too much in the main campaign. Curie moment is an area of a game where you are just scared. Scared to go through it, you dread going through it, might I say. It's probably a better way to word it. Because I used to dread trying to play the Curie moment. It just bothered me so much. Since growing up a bit and playing more games and getting more familiar with Soma, it doesn't irk me as much as it once did, but I still get that feeling in my brain. The I don't want to do this bit. Can I glitch through the wall with the fire extinguisher in the window? Can I do that? I'll try for 2 minutes, doesn't happen? Okay, shit, I guess we gotta do this. I still get those little feelings in my head, so... Flesher, I'm gonna keep the Flesher and Curie moment. Most Frictional games have a Curie moment for me. Or had a Curie moment. Overture kinda does. The ending dog areas where there's 3 dogs in each of the areas, that kind of bothers me, because I'm like, shit, where do you spawn from? Can I kill them easily? That's kind of my Curie moment for Overture. Black Plague, my Curie moment for Black Plague used to be the Amabel encounter, where you gotta drop the crane on her. It's super easy. I just struggled with it as a kid, and it always bothered me. Yeah, nowadays it doesn't bother me. I've played Black Plague like twice since then, and I haven't really been scared by it. It's just very easy to outmaneuver him. Requiem, that whole game used to be a Curie moment for me, just because I didn't want to play it. But after playing it for Ramen's Bunker Binge, I don't mind Requiem. I like it. I think I got over my Requiem hate boner. Amnesia the Dark Descent. Now, the Curie moment in that game used to be the choir, but again, since speedrunning hard mode, it doesn't really scare me anymore. Soma, Curie moment, the Curie. Rebirth actually had a Curie moment for me. In my Bunker Binge playthrough, I have a panic attack on camera, like I did when I played the sequence for the first time in 2020. But after playing it after that, because I've played it Rebirth again through since then, the Curie moment for me was the Wraith section, that first Wraith section, and it still largely is. The first Wraith encounter is just random for me. And I never know how I'm going to get around it, and it bothers me every single time. I have to just, like, psych myself up before I do the first encounter. But I had a panic attack again playing Rebirth from the Wraith section. I didn't know where they moved to, what their ranges were, but since playing it again after the recorded video, I'm fine with it. So... fine with the Wraith. They used to scare me quite a lot. But we're not at that section yet. But that's what the Curie moment was in Rebirth for me. Theta Proxy is creepy, but it doesn't really scare me. Terry Akers. A lot of people say Akers is fucking scary. I don't care about Akers. Akers doesn't scare me that much. He's creepy. He's not even fucking creepy. Like, the idea behind him is creepy, and his sequence is really well executed, but I don't find him scary, like, in the slightest. He's just very slow, blind. My first time playing Soma, he didn't even bother me that much. He walked past me in a corridor, and I just crouched, huddled to the side. He didn't touch me. I saw his feet in my angle of vision when I was staring down at the floor. He walked right past me, but he didn't aggro, because I was quiet and didn't make any noise. And that's when I knew, okay, I can be this close to him, and he doesn't recognize me. So I'm not really too scared by him. His setup is great. The execution is great. And I like him a lot as an enemy. And he's probably the most interesting, like, backstoried, chronicled enemy in a Frictional Games title. But he doesn't scare me. Patchwork Man. We didn't have an opportunity to meet, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to put you in. I'm fine with this. Well, if you were walking around, you'd be pretty creepy. I'm gonna put you there. Robot head girl. She's pretty scary. She's fucking quick. And the noises. Oh my god, her screams. No, I'm okay. She's pretty fucking scary. I don't like her. Viperfish, I'm fine. They don't do anything. Anglerfish. Anglerfish is pretty fucking scary. Like, just the way that he dashes out towards you and follows you into the caves. Oh, it bothers me. I'm like, oh, he's not that scary, but he's... Imagine seeing something like that in real life. I'm okay. I put that in pretty scary. Jin Yoshida. Tao is another Curie moment for me, but to a lesser degree. Because it's just a typical Frictional Games enemy. And you can just... he's really easy to get around when you know how to beat him. I'm putting him in pretty scary, because he is pretty scary. Just some poor fuck stuck in the suit after the WoW invades. He has idle animations where he looks down at himself. Oh, no. Leviathan is a bit spooky. This giant sea creature. Ghoul. Ghoul's a bit spooky. He's more creepy than scary. Leon, it's kind of funny. I'm gonna put him in creepy but not scary. You can really easily run past him. But that's just because Tazzy runs like a fucking truck. She goes, no. Wraith, Curie moment. I don't like the Wraith. The Wraith is probably the scariest Frictional Games enemy to me. It's not the one that scares me the most, but it's the one that we know the least about. The one that makes the most foreign, distorted, alien, uncomfortable sounds. He sounds like a fucking nightmare. And they just trap you. And they grab you from a far distance, and it's spooky. Wraith is not the scariest Frictional enemy out there. It's probably the scariest for me. I find the Brute and the Grunt scarier than the Wraith, stuff like that. But just the sheer unnatural, alien-like nature of the Wraith, it's unholy. It's ethereally awful, and I don't like him. So the Wraith, he's gonna go in Curie moment for me. Yasmin's kinda hot. I'm fine with Yasmin, she can chase me if she wants. Wow! Well, we got to the end of my tier list. What do you think? I'm gonna rate it a laughing emoji. A noble cosmic alien monstrosities? I'm good. Funny Boston man, he's pretty cool. There you go. Get saved. So link in the description for this one. I'll also leave the link to the last video that we made of the hottest Frictional enemy. So quite polar opposite to this. So if you want to know what I thought was don't look at the screen. If you want to know what I think's the hottest Frictional Games enemy, and you want to see what fetishes I have, the link to that video will be in the description below, and you can make your own tier list. And then you can also make one of the scariest tier list. Please make a video response and tell me what you think about your personal picks for these enemies. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys say. I think this would just be a very fun community activity. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, I have a new album coming out. Listen to it. Do it! It's coming out May 15th. I'm fading out. It's playing right now.